everyone, and welcome to a professional best-of-5 series of Stormgate. Join me here. Map number 1 shall be on Boneyard, the red Vanguard player here, the upper right corner belonging to Denver. And the bottom left corner slightly less occupied because of their faction. Where did the main base go? It's over here doing combat. The blue Celestials player. It is PartinG. Parting off doing what PartinG does. Starting off combat with his main base building. Absolutely. This Vanguard versus Celestials, yes, not even the creep camp can figure it out and decide what to do, apparently. We've already seen a match, one game, of course, between Vanguard and Infernals. I thought it high time to check out another series, but making sure to include the mystical Celestial faction, of course, the third of the triumvirate that makes up Stormgate currently. Now the Celestials, of course, those slightly unfamiliar, you might want to write it off and claim Protoss, of course, but they're pretty wacky. They're pretty wild as far as, deviations from the standard type of RTS play. Like the Vanguard, okay, the Infernals, it makes sense from a traditional RTS point of view. You have your workers, you build your barracks, the barracks builds the stuff, you go to town. Okay, that kind of thing, in a very generalized, loose sense. Celestials, though, a little different, because it's incorporating a few more mechanics like power and, say, power fields, although I know Protoss, very familiar with that, just a little different, because if you don't have power, things go quite no bueno, if you will. The barracks, now, you can, of course, still make a barracks, still have multiple barracks even to produce things, but the Celestials can actually designate a forward barracks, if you will, for all of the units to come out of. This one, you see this white line here? PartinG has chosen this one barracks, this creation chamber, as it's called, to be the primary creation chamber. Think of it like if you're playing Protoss. I know a lot of StarCraft analogies. Whoa, the menu button has been found. The StarCraft analogies, they're going to keep happening because it makes sense for all of you beautiful viewers, and myself included. So, you're playing Protoss, you research Warp Gate, but instead of actually warping in at the power field, you pick a gateway, and everything comes out of that gateway. Solid analogy, I think. What are they both doing at this point? What are they building up with? I see PartinG has opted for, of course, the multiple creation chambers, plenty of power banks to help out these Argents. The basic Celestial unit, it shoots up, it shoots down, and it has energy. When it's feeling good, it has energy, bonus damage to that attack. So, it's having a good day. It's well rested, feels like doing some extra damage maybe. Now, Denver, on the other side, the Vanguard over here, has been going with, I'll say, a little bit of a mixture compared to what we saw from Percival in that previous Stormgate match. Adding on some hedgehogs here, the anti-air rocket buggy, if you will, over there. It can hit ground, yes. But it's also quite strong versus air. Quite a few scouts, but not nearly committing as heavily to the pure scout play that we saw previously. So maybe that's a Vanguard versus Celestial thing. Perhaps the Celestials necessitate a bit more tech from the Vanguard. I'm keen to see it. Very curious here. PartinG sending out a few scanners. Think of it like an observer. Very similar purpose, very similar usage. Just goes out. You can cloak it, attach it to a tree. Yeah, you Night Elf Sentinel spellcasters probably remember that one. Pick a tree, get some scouting here. PartinG deciding to completely annihilate that creep camp because Celestials, why not? They just kind of choose that creep camp and say, yeah, goodbye. This belongs to me now. Vanguard player expanding. PartinG, of course, already setting up multiple bases as well. It was a bit less of a infrastructure investment for the Celestials, so they can kind of just make a haunted gold mine, if you will, as a Warcraft analogy for you Warcraft 3 lovers. They haunt the gold mine with their celestialness, and then they can mine from it. Hedgehogs, scouts, moving around here on the right side, going after creep camp still. They're both just kind of still building up, a couple of macro turns, if you will. They're starting to add on some more units, though. PartinG has added these almost like nano swarm vortex bots. They're called cabals. They're kind of scary. They're kind of creepy. They honestly, I'm not sure I'd want to fight them. They do have an attack, like a laser beam they can channel out. A couple spells they can play around with, too. But I'm most intrigued to see these Kree. These are the guys that are rolling. You might be thinking Banelings? Sort of. Think of it like a Zealot, but with more armor and the excitement to roll. The flexibility of a spine there. Oh, engagement here. Vanguard going to have to defend their own base. PartinG says it's go time. Timing here with the Kree rolling in. That bonus armor is really going to help out. They're taking a lot of these hedgehog shots. And there is not a lot of Celestial actually getting picked off here. The scouts finally show up for Denver. The boys are pulled as well. The CV's trying to commit an attack to those Kree, but frankly getting into melee with Zealots, with workers, is less than ideal. So PartinG seems to agree. Although I will say PartinG wildly ahead here. So we don't get to see that Denver left first, but look at the supply, look at the attack. There is no way this is getting cleaned up. I am quite confident in saying this first game goes to PartinG. Onwards now. Map number 2. Map number 2 in the series shall be Lost Hope. The Vanguard player will be occupying the upper left quadrant of the map. Here it is going to be, of course, Denver. And over in the bottom right, where'd your main base go? Can't ever keep track of PartinG's main base, apparently. In the bottom right corner, once again, the blue Celestial, starting off with a bit of Therium mining here. It is PartinG. Strong timing, it seems, with Celestial player. The Morph Core over here. Now this unit, I don't think we got to talk about it. Game 1 went really quickly, actually. The Morph Core is sort of like a Celestial worker, just in the sense of it can go out and make a building. It becomes the building. The advantage to using the Morph Core, as opposed to building the building normally, is you don't have to worry about the power field. Because the buildings can normally only go into a power field. Sound familiar? But if you use the Morph Core, you can ignore that requirement, make something anywhere, really. And it would seem PartinG has a little bit of a plan to make a building on the high ground here. What are you doing? What's the idea here? This is one of the many reasons I love to watch the pros play, because the ideas that I just probably wouldn't even come across, wouldn't even think of here. PartinG is still making quite a bit down here in the bottom right, so not getting super sneaky, but definitely up to something. Is this just for vision of the creep camps? No, it can't be. Absolutely not. I don't buy it. I'll check in on... Never mind. It's a Legion Hall. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this is for some Celestial air units. Building it on the high ground to make sure it's safe, I suppose, and stuck behind the trees here, so the scout, of course, can't get to it. Interesting. I think Denver knows about it, though. Perfect. Oh, yeah, Denver knows. Using the scout ability, extra vision range here. The choice is a Seraphim. Okay. Seraphim coming out here deals... It's the creep camp killer. Okay. Absolutely fantastic at dealing with these monsters around the map. Helping to save the local towns, the villagers. Very thankful with giving PartinG, I'm sure, any rewards and treasure they may have accrued. On the other side, let's check in. Denver, of course, Vanguard player here. Going with a lot of scouts, going after these initial creep camps as well. This is essentially the general early game that can be had. You Oh, I got PartinG stealing some of these towers from Denver, making sure that Denver doesn't have all of the benefits from unlocking those initial towers. And it is, once again, quick hedgehogs for the Vanguard. Okay, they're anti-air siege mode here, where they live the lifelong dream of many Terran units of being able to just sit down and tilt upwards so that they can actually hit air units. I've long wished for that for things for like the Marauder. Okay. PartinG continuing to add on a few more Seraphim here. Air units, of course, so going to be very helpful for dealing with some of these initial threats. Not just the creep camps, but they can hit things like the scouts. Really unopposed. Taking this vision over this incredibly lush Therium patch. Lots of mining potential to be had if the game actually goes that long. Be a little surprised if we do go that long. And PartinG seems to be quite strong, quite favoring timing attacks, but I'm keen to see what Denver has in store as well. Feels like that last map number 1 attack kind of snuck up on Denver. I don't think they got to really, portray what they were planning, what the goal was with the build. They're adding on just more of the same here. They've got double mech bay production going on here. So will it just be for more hedgehogs? I'm inclined to agree. PartinG swinging in a hit with the scanner observer here. Well, do we actually have a little bit of an engagement? Denver ready to do a little bit of combat. Scouts hit the high ground first. We'll spot for the hedgehogs. Now, there's not really any army units. There's one vector on the defense here, but the buildings themselves can fight back. The power banks will be charged up. Think of it like kind of like, what's a good StarCraft analogy? I'm thinking Nexus Overcharge, but for like Alarax co-op. Okay, you co-op lovers, you'll know what I'm talking about. Pick any building, even your allies' building, and actually get an attack here. Oh, hedgehogs hit the anti-air siege mode. Will take quite a few shots at the Seraphim, nearly picking it off too. 9 health at that. Just one more shot, one more connection would have been so helpful for them. PartinG really showing the dominance on the map, all these blue towers under their control, but at what cost will it be? Denver's ready to hit the base once again. More of the vector tanks here. They can blink around, so they're going to get to safety, go to the low ground, but it's then going to leave most of these buildings exposed. They're able to blink back up to the high ground, help with a little bit of the defense. Where did the creep killers go? They're still just out on the map, being their awesome creep killing selves, I suppose. Denver really trying to make something work with the hedgehog attack here, but I'm just not sure it's actually getting a whole lot done. PartinG seems to have kind of locked down the defense between the vector tanks and the, of course, very aggressive power bank buildings. No, they're trying to clear the ground first, it would seem. I'm inclined to agree. I think the vectors are probably the bigger threat. And once you clear the ground forces, then you just siege up into your anti-air mode, call it good. Okay, pushing the forces back here. Oh, siege mode will be engaged. One of the Seraphim immediately picked off the power bank, gets angry once again, throwing out its powerful laser. Haha, I know. Excellent destroyed animation. I like the way the celestial buildings get like sucked up into a black hole there. The Lancer doing some serious heavy lifting, tanking all of these vector shots. He's still going too. Oh my gosh, the Lancers. Do not underestimate their tank potential. I think things are looking pretty good here for Denver, actually. Not quite, I call it a timing, more of a brute force attack, overpowering the defenses, it would seem. Any more power banks gonna get angry? Not this time. PartinG actually gonna tap out. Denver will take this map, tying it up 1-1. I like it. Onwards. Now, let us continue. I'm not sure why they're still going, actually. They both left. Who's still here? When does it end? Okay, it does end. So that is it. Somebody, maybe, I don't know, maybe observer, maybe like tournament caster, observer, that kind of thing, still stuck around. So the replay there. I digress. Map number 3, go. Map number 3 in the series shall be Titan's Causeway. The score 1-1 here. Both players getting a little bit of an edge, a little bit of a strike here. Anybody's game at this point, nobody's match point in this best of 5 here. Looks like the Vanguard will be occupying the upper right corner of the map. Little different, little deviation here. Now, of course, PartinG, always a game, trying to find the Celestials' main base building here. This Arc ship, of course, will start, I'll say, in the bottom left, getting the mining operation going there already, starting second base here, doing the Celestial version of haunting this gold mine, I'll call it. So they'll be able to start a bit of mining there. Morph Core helping out with the attack, actually, gonna clear this initial creep camp. Arc ship taking a little bit of damage too, and then deciding to just kind of peace out. It would seem that the no, now nobody's gonna finish it off, huh? We're just fighting the slime. We're just killing some of the slimes to get the extra resources, Indigos, of course. How could I be so foolish as to think otherwise? Creation Chamber will get started up here. We'll start to make those Argent ranged warriors. Didn't really see that many in the last map, actually. PartinG went for, I'd say, a very different composition, different strategy. I think perhaps playing to the map in the last match here. Map number 2, that is. Going for the sneaky, slightly proxied Legion Hall to whip out some Seraphim air units, clearing a lot of creep camps, but also kind of leaving their own base open. It was up to a bit of a struggle for the defense. Denver eventually overpowering everything. Doing well, dodging these Shadow Mastiffs, of course, Darkness Dogs, if you will. We can do better than that. Dogs of Darkness. I'm much better with that. So, Scouts, clearly superior. Dodging their line attack, I like it. Both players setting up second bases, expansions here. Argent's moving around, capturing the towers. This one's really nice. The Vision Tower, of course, you can tell both the little eyeball on the mini-map that I don't know if you guys can really see, but also the big eyeball on top. Little bit of an indicator what that tower will give you. The other one over here, it's a green heart, which means it's a health tower. Of course, grants health regen to the units, of course, of the controlling player nearby. Scout. Oh, Denver just leaving the scout around, getting a little bit of vision here, perhaps trying to antagonize PartinG, leaving it purposely in the vision range of the tower. PartinG going with what looks to be a similar composition to map number 1 so far. Just getting out a lot of Argents, capturing the towers. Since this one's the speed tower. Zoomies, of course. Absolutely. Now, where's the energy tower? Do we have an energy tower at this point on the map here? I see speed, health, sight, of course. This one's resources, therium. So that'd be like I don't know, like a Vespine gas pickup for StarCraft. Very strange thing, concept, I know. I don't actually think I see any energy towers here, so the Celestials, with their dependence on energy, I feel is going to be kind of a factor. Denver, good gosh, gave the speed tower to the Scouts, which is going to just basically strap a turbo jetpack onto their bums and call it a good day. Like they had, I don't know, cereal for breakfast, which is essentially just caramelized sugar, isn't it? Well, the Scouts, the speed buff eventually does wear off. I don't actually blame Denver for not committing to combat with it. This is a lot of Argents, though. I'm not sure about committing to this attack. We'll pick off one of them decently, get away with it too. No losses for that, so that's a slightly good engagement there. I suppose Denver taking that at this time. Again, similar setup we're seeing here. The Cabals come out from the Creation Chamber. They're going to get the energy. They're siphoning it from those power banks. So they're going to be able to start off with, whatever their energy fuels, whatever the plan is for PartinG. These guys are quite strong, though, it would seem. I want to see more of the rolling Kree, though. Crouching Tiger rolling Zealots for the Celestials. That's my interest so far. Hedgehogs once again, so again, very similar composition I'm seeing with both of them, really. Will it go similarly to map number 1, though PartinG did take it? Bit of a strong timing there. adding on the Cabals. I'm not seeing any of the Kree yet, though. What's this? Oh, Morph Core. Clearing the trees, huh? Harvest the lumber, open up the way, just perhaps opening another path, avenue for the army units. I think that's the goal, actually. And a forward creation chamber, too, for reinforcements here. Kree have been added to the composition. Things should look very familiar. Will it go the same way, though? Denver might know a bit more about it now. Be able to expect it, anticipate the attack. Where's the army forces here? Oh, he's adding on a turret. Another mech bay just finished up here. The Hedgehogs ready. Will they stand for the defense, though? Gonna have to focus down the Kree first as they cut their way right through that progress building. The Argents forming a decent backline. Workers pulled off the line will be able to connect to some of the Celestial forces, but pinning himself, these Hedgehogs. There's only 4 Hedgehogs. Where's the army? Denver, this is not gonna work at all. Oh my gosh, up against between a rock and a celestial place here. This is not looking good at all. Vulcan does come out of the mech bay, but far too little, far too late. I saw Denver tapping out first. They're losing most of the army units. PartinG will absolutely take map number 3 here. Strong showing. They're still going, though. I kind of like it, actually. I would like to think this Vulcan could have done some serious work, but it's just not going to happen. Not going to save the day. Onwards now to the next map. The next map in the series shall be Secluded Grove. The score, 2-1 in favor of, we'll start with PartinG way over here, and in favor of the Celestial player. The blue left corner of the scout, angrily staring at the Celestial buildings. It is going to be PartinG, of course, up 2 right now. Up at 2. Denver on the other side, coming in with 1. Will they be able to take a map back, though? Even this up 2-2, can we get a grand finale? Initial thoughts looking similar. Lancer comes out from the barracks, probably to help with the creep camps. Scout keeping an eye, making sure these no good celestial buildings, not up to anything too shenanigany. The main base, of course, just sitting over here to help out with the Therium collection, getting those initial resources. Adding on the initial creation chamber. I would love to see a slight deviation in the composition, just to see. Got me with every game basically. It's only been like, what, 7 minutes? It's that they get their initial groups together and they clash and one of them just kind of crumbles. But that's okay. That's part of the game as well. Timing attacks, of course. Oh gosh, going for the very fast mech bay consistently through the side. I'm thinking this is Denver's style or idea to deal with the Celestials of PartinG. You have to get this quicker mech bay, perhaps I'll say akin to almost like StarCraft 1 Brood War essence. Like Bioforces just not really able to cut it. Terran always had to go into mech compositions. It just didn't have enough firepower, enough durability otherwise to deal with the threats that the Protoss could bring back in StarCraft 1 and Brood War. Creep camps will be threatened once again. The scanner scout for PartinG just flies right over Denver's army forces. No trouble there. Denver really focusing, narrowing down some of these early creep camps. Did go for the health one first to give a little bit of regen, perhaps. Going for the vision 1 second. Hello. Scout. When your scout, your observer is an air unit, of course, gives a bit more freedom. Now, PartinG's actually going to take this vision camp because of his presence there, but probably shouldn't stick around. Oh, no, it's got plenty of health. You take a couple shots from that hedgehog, but Denver's going to take control once again. It's not gone forever. It's not lost for the entire time. You just have to regain control of the surrounding area. There's PartinG coming over here trying to steal. Oh my gosh. Stealing all of these towers. Just trying to control them. get extra resources, get extra benefits. It would appear PartinG going for a similar setup to map number 2 so far, since we are seeing the presence of the Seraphim again. These creep camp killers. Air units. The reason that Denver keeps having to go into these early hedgehogs, I'm sure. Celestials get their air units on a little bit quicker. They can, at least. They don't have to. You could commit to ground-style forces. You know, the Argents that shoot up and shoot down. The Kree that roll around, feel good about themselves. You could go ground, but it would seem something to be had some value here for going into these early air units. Oh, he's trying to get this. He does get that scanner. Observer style unit will be picked off. Hedgehog's able to snipe that one. Very nice. Good pickup here. Oh, don't hit the chicken, of course. This is where PartinG decided to put the Legion Hall. I love this. The decision making, hiding these little proxy buildings around. Okay. Protecting it with trees. The Morph Core able to cut down the trees, of course, make space for the building. Denver moving around, captures the vision tower that should belong to PartinG at this point. What are we going to have for the defense? Again, very similar setup. Okay, map number 2 went to Denver, though. So will it be... Oh, rip, scout. Will it be similar? Going for the Seraphim, for the map control, keeping everything under wraps. The Vectors at home to help out with the defense. These guys, they're... StarCraft analogy, I mean, they're kind of like stalkers because they can blink around, but they're also much slower. You know, I'm pretty sure. No, they can hit ground and air. Okay, at least I can see that. Decent health pool, 195 compared to some other things. Where the Seraphim go? The Seraphim, they're harassing. Oh my god, PartinG going after the workers. 180 health to answer my initial question, getting a bit of damage done, occupying the high ground here. These hedgehogs gonna have to siege up just to have any hope of getting enough range to hit them. The Seraphim, they deal semi-decent damage, but they're kind of fragile in direct combat. A little bit like mutas, I suppose you could make that analogy. I don't really like that one, but they take reduced damage from the creeps, what makes them such a strong choice for this map control, this map vision style play. A lot of vectors out now for PartinG. Ready to move out on the map, not needing to just sit at home for the defense. Trying to retake, perhaps, this tower. Yeah, we'll be going after it. Get some extra resources. Okay, very good. Extra Luminite. This is a Luminite tower. Now, is there an energy? There is an energy tower on this map, actually. Okay, so the energy tower, I keep bringing that one up just because I know how crucial it is for a lot of the Celestial units. They get such a strong benefit from having energy that it tends to be worth holding on to at least one of those towers. Hedgehog shots taken off. Decent chunk of health from PartinG Seraphim here. The Vector's ready to go, though. Might be going up for an engagement. Hedgehogs versus Vectors. The Vectors, of course, can blink around. Hedgehogs have a bit more burst damage when they fire all 4 of those missiles. Oh, they're both very microable, too. A lot of movement speed. One of the Hedgehogs did siege up, tried to go after the Seraphim. Not going to have a whole lot of success with that, though. Oh my god, PartinG's pushing him back up into the main base. Are we looking at a quick end here? I don't think so. The Bobs, of course, can be pulled as well. The workers, I say the Bobs, yes. Bobs could be pulled, could go for a little bit of repairs, could just go for the attack. PartinG's starting to bleed off a few vectors, fighting this close to Denver's reinforcing position to them. Double mech bait production helping out. Gonna have to siege up a couple of these hedgehogs just to keep the Seraphim off of him. Oh yeah, there you go. That's a great graphic. I do like that one. When the hedgehogs siege up, like a missile turret from range 11. Well, a few more vectors show up, a few more hedgehogs likewise. A bit of a back and forth here in the main base of Denver. That's got to be stressful. Desperately trying to hold this attack. PartinG not going to give him a whole lot of breathing room here. Not able to micro quite as far back. Blinking around though, trying to keep some of these injured vectors alive. Give them a little bit of time to regen their burst attack maybe. firing their missiles. It looks like Denver will eventually clean all of it up. A solid engagement, I'll say, and just barely staying alive, holding the line at this point. Machine Lab online now, still just cranking out the hedgehogs as quickly as those mech bays can, I suppose, and even gonna sell the Machine Lab. Okay. Very well, getting a bit of upgrade perhaps, and then just selling off the building. Not worth to have it past that point. Oh god, could you imagine that if we could, like, sell off and scrap, or salvage the engineering bay after you get everything from it? Oh my goodness, okay. Well, Denver's still alive, still kicking, and we're past the 7-minute mark, guys. Oh my gosh. Late game here. What? Alright, I'm excited now. PartinG gonna focus a bit more on the map now. Go for some more of the creep camps. Sacrificed a lot of units to that attack. I think PartinG really was hoping to end it with that strike, comboing the Seraphim and the Vectors there. What are we adding on here? Another Legion Hall, another Creation Chamber. So just gonna try to add on a bit more of the army units. The Legion Hall, I'm intrigued at this. Did this one get destroyed? Oh, I think so. I think this one got torched. Okay. Well, that would explain why. Perhaps adding on that one. Will it be for just more Seraphim? To get more map control, they both have had to take a step back and just recoup some of their army forces. A lot of these towers are now neutral once again. Denver, composition, really more of the same. Just adding on more hedgehogs, a couple scouts, it would seem. Going after the Vision Tower of PartinG, who has been adding on, I'll say definitely more Vectors. Legion Hall coming online. Not really anything coming out of it just yet, though. Oh. The Angry Link Node, the defensive structure for the Celestials, will help out here, taking out one of the hedgehogs. Now, PartinG's been reverting a bit into the other composition. I see Argents and Cabals joining the fray now. The Vectors still can help out quite a bit. If they can actually get to the hedgehogs, that's the thing, they have that shorter range. Don't want to get trapped behind the angry Argents. Well, they're not going to have any trouble. They should have gotten stuck behind the Argents. They all got destroyed. Kree rolling out now, able to help out here. Be nice to get their tanky armor in play. Reduce some of the damage from these hedgehogs. Denver able to apply a bit of pressure now to the base. The collection array having to detach from that mine. Because, you know, when you undead players, I keep making the analogy of haunting the gold mine. Your haunted gold mine can lift up into the air. Oh yeah, that's madness for sure. Well, power banks trying to help out here, keeping the Celestial forces supplied with plenty of energy. Denver, oh god, having to micro split off some of the targeted hedgehogs. The attacks deal a little bit of splash damage. But I don't think Denver's going to be breaking through right now. Not looking too strong at this point. Able to pick off some of these isolated buildings. If PartinG's not in position, definitely taking some losses. And the hedgehog attack vaporizing some of these early units before the Vectors even can connect. Kree finally do engage, rolling their way right up to the hedgehogs, slowing everything down. PartinG going to be able to pick off a few of them. Great back and forth, actually. I'm liking this. I should have started with this one. Come on. More Kree, more Argents. Yeah. The couple of Cabal are still alive, too. And they've been using a lot of their spells. I'll have to refresh myself on their spells. I really don't remember what they're doing. I know something keeps slowing down these hedgehogs. I want to say it's the Cabal that's just kind of keeping them slowed, pinned here. But we also see an Animancer, later game spellcaster for the Celestial. I would love to see their version of the Storm. This is a unit, can make a little bit something like a Psy Storm, but it's like a cosmic void storm. It's just beautiful. I love the graphic for it. Perhaps we will get to see that. Crossing your fingers. Oh, there we go. Vector, playing with fire here. It might not even get away. Oh, blinking around to its own demise. Not looking good for said Vector. PartinG gonna have to roll around here. The building was actually destroyed. Collection array will be torn to shreds, brought down from the sky. But this is a lot of army. PartinG is starting to take quite a supply advantage, and adding on more of these later game spellcasters could spell a bit of doom. What's Denver's plan? What's the backup here? Adding on a Vulcan. I like it. We need about 5 or 6 more, maybe. Not too sure about being able to hold this with just hedgehogs. There are a couple Vulcans, okay. I see one Lancer, who is still, I'm sure, the MVP. But, oh my gosh, this is a lot of Kree. PartinG is ready to go. Ready to commit to an attack here. The caster's at the forefront. There it is, the Cosmic Void Storm, dealing quite a bit of damage to anything caught within Denver, not really caring or able to micro out of said attack here. The lasers from the Cabal are going to help to pick off, target down some of these Vulcans. The Kree have a nice surround on everything on the right side, and Denver is going to call it tapping out. GG. PartinG is going to take the map, and with it the series. 3-1. An explosive ending, a wonderful back and forth game to end off the series, though. I'm not sure I could have asked for a whole lot better than that. If you enjoyed, be sure to let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day.